Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High Yah has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and will rest therein. Just coming with a message here. I want to also inform you that I did take down the last video. After viewing the last video, I realized I sounded fierce. My tone was very high. Okay. And after hearing it, I didn't care for the tone nor the sound, okay, of my voice, okay, nor the fierce that I was able to tune into. So I took that video down and I'm going to redo that video. And I thank them. I'm gonna redo that video and I'm gonna put on here as a title. So you have a choice. So you have a choice. So you have a choice. And I'm going to make it much shorter because what the Most High was dealing with me, he dealt with me in such a father and daughter situation or a father and child situation. I don't even have to say daughter, or father and child situation, to the point where I have just so much to say about who he is. He have proven himself, and he didn't need to. He didn't have to. But the things that he come and share with me, even about myself, shows me that he's more than what many are understanding that he is. He's so loving and so great and so good and so perfect and so wonderful and so awesome, so kind and so merciful. Oh, if only many knew him. And I say that proudly, as he have shown himself to me and have abide in me. If only many, if even though he said the gate is narrow and very few shall find their end, I trust in that. I believe in that. But only if there was more than a few. You see? Oh, they would turn back. No, they wouldn't. Because the few was predestined before the foundation of the world. So they wouldn't turn back. So that's me needing to take that out. It is what it is, like he is, the I am. It is, he is what he is. And it is what it is. Okay? So I'm going to start this here. And I'm going to do like he was ministering in my spirit to do. He was telling me about how the voice, the pitch, the high pitched tone that I have, and the voice of when I speak, it can be found high pitched or fierce. So he was dealing with me on that. And as he was dealing with me regarding that, because I took the video down without checking with him, he was saying, just think, Deborah, just kind of reminisce on how many prophets that I sent down to feed the people the spiritual food, the spiritual warning. He was just saying the things which are spirit and truth. I sent from the heavens many prophets. It never was it because they spoke with fierce. He said, never was it because their voice was high pitched. He said, never was it because of anything of that nature that many were destroyed. Many were killed, murdered, okay? And he was telling me it didn't have anything to do with what they were saying or how they were saying or how high pitched their voice was or how fierce the message was. He said, Deborah's spirit and truth, it don't carry a sound. And I began to think, I said, Father, that is so true. He said, so don't beat yourself up thinking because the way your voice sound, the high pitch or the fierce it sound. He said, because you're dealing with principalities in high places, even though you think you're speaking to his elect or his anointed and appointed ones or his special ones or those that's going into the narrow gate. Don't put so much emphasis on how you sound. And that's why I say I love him. I refuse to be like anybody outside of who I am. Because the things that he's shown me and the things that he shared with me, because he had mentioned to me, he said, you know how many years of your life that you have gone down on your knees and asked me to change the pitch of your voice? You know, I'm just sharing with you all how me taking this down, I took this video down without checking with him. And had I checked with the Most High Yah, he wouldn't have allowed me. I would not have been able to bring it down. But I was in self and I felt the tone and I felt the high pitch and I felt the fierce. But then he came along and he began to minister to me, you see, to give me that comforter. Remember, he said he's going to be a comforter, and to give me that comforter that don't go battling with your high pitch, okay, or your fierce. Because how do you think I feel creating all things and all things deny me? If you can hear his high pitch is what he said. If you can hear his fierce is what he's saying. So as he was just telling me to don't put a lot of emphasis on how I say things and the way I say things, because 24/24 mean in the 24 hours a day, there are those that's in the broad gate. Okay. He say they're looking for a reason to justify and to clarify and identify any error in anyone. And he began to tell me how they do it. He said they use it out being self-centered, self-motivated. Okay, they want their emotions to be tapped in. They want their emotions to be smooth. They want you to be gentle with them. But he said, in this day, the day of judgment, the spirit and truth don't have no gentle. It's coming because the critical time that we are in, it needs to shout loud. It needs to stand on a mountain and proclaim what it is. So I thank him for that, because when I listened to that video, instant, I took it down. But I thank him for giving me that comforter to show me it wasn't something that I did, and I should not go wrestling with trying to tap into people's emotions and their personal opinion and their self-centered and their he said their emotion. He said something else, and their feelings. He said don't ever battle with that. And I love what he was saying about the prophets, because that is so true. How did they address the people after going back and forth? Y'all tell them, go tell them this, go tell the people this, go tell the people this. Each time them prophet went, they was going and talked to people that was dead in spirit and dead in mind, could not see and could not hear. So just imagine how the prophets felt, having to keep coming back and forward and back and forward. And all it was leading up to was their death. You see how powerful that is? When they finished telling the people, a lot of them got murdered. See, so he was saying to me that, see, Deborah, they most likely, he didn't say they most likely, he said, I'm saying they, but he said, see how they dealt with the people year after year after year after year. Hearing what I tell them, go tell them. Do you know how they should have felt in the flesh, knowing they was getting the right now word and a powerful word from me, and they were taking it over to the other side that didn't believe me, didn't have no love for me, didn't have no connection to me, didn't want to, but yet they had to be the in-between that was taking the message. He was just saying that in spite of them even being humble, many of them in their message, they still didn't stop the people from murdering them, taking their lives. This is what I'm trying to lead up to. The Most High said, spirit and truth is always going to be hated. Spirit and truth is going to be disliked. Spirit and truth is not going to be acceptable. Whether you got a high pitch, a fierce pitch, or you got a humble spirit pitch, it doesn't matter. He says it's only for he that he has prepared it for. So I thank him for that, because if you think about that, here it is. No one is trying to murder me. No one is trying to take my life, or no one is become after me or anything like that. But yet there go those in time past that were prophets, and they lost their lives, even if they were talking humbles. He was saying it doesn't matter if spirit and truth come in humbleness or in fierce. It doesn't matter. You look at what is it, which he tends to call it balance. That's what he said to me now. It's like a balance. If it's humble and if you speak is fierce, when it all is going to balance, because he said it is spirit and truth. And spirit and truth is always going to be balanced, whether it is humble, spoken of, or it is fierce. What sits in the middle to balance it is what's important. And he said that is spirit and that is truth. And then I think about that too, because I think about a lot of people in this day and time. I don't even think they was like this in the old days as much as it is in this day. People emotions, people feelings, people self-centered, their motivation, their everything that their motive, I put it like that, in everything, it's wicked. So therefore they can't balance a message and receive the one that holds the balance to weigh. They don't receive that. And what that is spirit and truth. So I thank him for that. And it is a lot of prophets that were murdered because of what? Spirit and truth. And the Most High was dealing with me on that, because I tell you the truth, now you hate me. Because I tell you the truth, now you hate me. And what he said is, truth will and have and shall always sparkle hate. And the hate don't care which end it's coming from. It just hates spirit and truth being spoken. So it can come around the corner, it can come from underneath, it can come from that up top, it can come on any side. Hate is always hating on spirit and truth. So he said, if you would have said that message and made it humble, it wouldn't have mattered. Because many are looking for the things that pleasure and makes their emotions and their feelings become, how would I say it, become satisfied. And anybody say anything out of line, whether it's up or down, it don't even have to have anything to do. It don't care if it's spirit and truth. It don't care of any other matter. The flesh can't stand the sound. It can't stand spirit and truth, whether it's a sound to it or whether it's a humble to it. If it's silent spoken, he said it doesn't matter. Spirit and truth is always going to find. It's always going to be followed behind hate. So it ain't got nothing to do. And I thank him for that, because the lesson he gave me was really beautiful. He was telling me it don't have nothing to do with you being fierce and what you're saying, or you talking the truth. I said, yes, Father, you know everything I spoke is what you had given me. He said, that's what's more important, Deborah. It's not important to make sure you are so humble when you're speaking or you're trying to role play when you're speaking. And he said, that's what's on these platforms. People role play. They have done this so well in so many years, giving you messages, and you have ate it up like you had a full meal deal before you. And you did, he said, in the flesh. What did you get for your spirit? You had no plate for your spirit, but you have had plates for your flesh. With that being said, he's saying, people have time after time have said the things that pleases people. And how does it please them, Deborah? He said it comes from their flesh, their feelings, their emotions. People knows how to get subscribers and likes by being a humble and speaking to you, deceiving you at the same time. And you take heed to the deceivers, but those who come to bring a powerful, fierce message, you hear not. So he told me, don't put no emphasis on that. You say it like you feel it. And if you feel like you want to bring it high pitch, you bring it on. Because everything that I give you, let me tell you, it is spirit and truth. So I thank him for that. So I'm going to end this video and I'm going to come back with so you think. So you think you have the choice. And I hope you enjoy it the second time around. So I say unto you, shalom and shalom.